Have you ever felt like life had you cornered, like you were built to fail or destined to live small? Today I want to flip that script and tell you a story, not about real birds or jets, but about mindset, resilience, and rising above every odd stacked against you. Imagine this. Hawk circling overhead, powerful and predatory, but suddenly an F-16 Falcon appears, sleek, fast, impossible to ignore, and those hawks don't stand a chance. That's the metaphor. The hawks are your fears, doubts, failures, and insecurities. The F-16 is who you really are when you unlock your full potential. I knew a guy like that once. Let's call him James, who grew up in chaos, told he wouldn't amount to anything, written off by teachers and even family, but he made a decision to rise. He studied, prayed, pushed, and grew. Over time, he stopped living like the hunted and became the hunter. And one day, he walked into a room that used to intimidate him and owned it completely. He didn't just survive his story. He soared above it. That's the power of a mindset shift. You stop seeing yourself as a victim and start seeing yourself as the weapon, the jet, the miracle. You fly smarter, clearer, higher. And it's not just about being strong. It's about having focus like a pilot, discipline that doesn't crack under pressure, strategy that aligns with vision, and a spiritual engine powered by faith. The hawks of fear, shame, and self-doubt only win when you forget who you are. But when you step into your true identity, they scatter. You don't need to be the strongest or fastest. You just need to stop fighting battles God already gave you the power to win. So let me ask you, what are the hawks in your life? What's been circling you, keeping you grounded, making you second-guess yourself? Because today is the day you flip the script. It's time to stop living low and start flying high. Time to step into the cockpit of your life, fueled by purpose and fired up by faith. You weren't made to crawl. You weren't made to be prey. You were made to soar, strategic, powerful, and untouchable. So fuel up, lock in, and take off. Let the world watch in awe as you rise above every odd, every limitation, and every lie you've ever believed. Because today, the F-16 in you eats hawks for breakfast, and the sky is no longer the limit. Life has a way of grounding us. One moment you're filled with hope, ready to take off, and the next you're slammed by disappointment, fear, or failure, feeling like your wings have been clipped. But what if I told you that even in the darkest, most grounded seasons, you still have the power to fly? Not by your strength, but by faith, F-16 faith. Imagine your faith like a fighter jet. Agile, powerful, fast, and designed for warfare. It's not passive. It's not delicate. It's not built for comfort. It's built for movement, for victory, for defying gravity when life tries to hold you down. There was a time I felt completely grounded. Dreams falling apart, nothing working, everything that could go wrong did. I sat in silence, asking God if he was even listening. And right there in that pit of confusion, something shifted. I didn't get a miracle in that moment, but I got a revelation. Faith isn't just when things go well. Faith is the weapon you use when everything's falling apart. It's how you fly when gravity, whether emotional, financial, spiritual, or relational, tries to pull you down. Real faith isn't blind optimism or wishful thinking. It's gritty. It's focused. It's rooted in a deeper trust that even when you can't see the runway, you still take off. Think about it. Fighter jets don't fly because the air is always calm. They fly because they're built for turbulence. And if you're going to live with F-16 faith, you've got to accept that turbulence doesn't mean you're going to crash. It means you're in motion. Faith doesn't avoid storms. It pierces through them. It doesn't wait for the conditions to be perfect. It says, even now, I will rise. And you don't need to have everything figured out. You don't need to have flawless prayer or perfect theology. All you need is a kind of faith that moves, faith that gets up again, prays again, tries again, believes again, even when life gives you no reason to. That kind of faith breaks ceilings. That kind of faith flies at high altitudes. Jesus said that faith the size of a mustard seed can move mountains. That's not poetic fluff. That's truth. Because when your faith is rooted in who God is, not just what you feel, then you're flying with something far greater than self-confidence. You're flying with divine assurance. And here's what you need to hear today. God is not afraid of your doubts. He's not intimidated by your mess. He's not surprised by your questions. What he's looking for is someone who will trust him even when nothing makes sense. Someone who will step on the runway of life, engines roaring, and say, "God, I don't know how, but I believe you will." That's F-16 faith. It's sharp. It's focused. It's unrelenting. It turns breakdowns into breakthroughs and setbacks into setups. And sometimes the greatest act of faith isn't shouting from a mountaintop. It's whispering, "I still believe," in a quiet room where no one sees you struggling. That whisper carries more power than you think, because God hears it. Heaven moves for it. Miracles are born in it. You may not feel strong today. You may not feel ready. But if you've got just a little faith left in your tank, that's enough. Takeoff starts small. And every time you choose to believe instead of break, every time you decide to trust instead of panic, every time you look up instead of giving up, you're flying higher than you know. The enemy wants you grounded. Life wants to distract and discourage you. But the truth is your faith is built to rise, built to soar, built to make war in the spiritual and come out victorious. So let me remind you of what's already in you. You got fighter jet faith. You got spiritual engines that roar louder than your fear. You got wings built for pressure and purpose. And if God is for you, then no amount of turbulence can stop you. So get back in that cockpit. Grip the controls. Turn your eyes toward the sky, because you were never meant to stay on the ground. You were born to fly on faith. There's a truth we often forget when life starts pressing us from all sides, when it feels like the enemy has air superiority, like he's flying above us, firing shots of doubt, fear, depression, confusion, and defeat. But the reality is, God holds a true air superiority in your life. And once you understand that, everything changes. Picture this. In military terms, air superiority means total control of the skies. It means the enemy can't even get close without being taken out. That's what it looks like when God is in control of your destiny. The devil may try to fly overhead and drop discouragement, may try to block your radar with lies and distraction, may try to jam your communication with heaven, but he's no match for the one who owns the heavens and the earth. God doesn't just offend you from the air, he commands it. His angels fly faster than any attack sent against you. His spirit hovers over your chaos with authority, and his word cuts through enemy lies like a heat-seeking missile. So when you feel like you're being bombarded, remind yourself who controls the skies. Your life isn't happening randomly. It's unfolding under divine command. The enemy might try to imitate air power, but he's grounded every time God steps in. You're not outnumbered. You're not outgunned. You're covered. Heaven's Air Force is already deployed. You're not waiting for backup. You're walking with it. Your destiny isn't up for debate. It was authored before you ever face your first battle. And if God has spoken it, not even hell itself can override it. That's the thing about God's air superiority. It doesn't depend on what you feel, what others say, or what you see. It's built into the nature of who he is. The Alpha, the Omega, the captain of angel armies. When he says you're going somewhere, you're going. When he says the storm won't take you out, it won't. When he declares you free, you're free. The enemy can circle your mind, try to cloud your judgment, try to create panic and confusion. But even then, God is running the airspace. He sees further, moves faster, and operates on levels the enemy can't reach. And let's be real, your fight isn't even fair when God's involved. You're not out here battling alone. You're flying under divine cover. The reason you survived things you thought would destroy you, the reason you're still here after crash, the heartbreak, the failure, is because God's been airlifting you through danger you didn't even know existed. That voice that told you to hold on one more day, that wasn't luck. That was the Holy Spirit flying overhead, giving you vision when your wings were failing. That breakthrough that came out of nowhere, that was a targeted strike from heaven, clearing the path for your destiny. And even when the enemy tries to get crafty, hiding in blind spots, launching sneak attacks on your confidence, your peace, your calling, God sees it all. Nothing gets past his radar. And while you're sitting there wondering how to keep fighting, God's already neutralized the threat. You're covered in ways you don't even understand. That's why you can't afford to quit. Because your destiny isn't based on enemy activity. It's based on God's promises. The fight may feel fierce, but it's already fixed. The enemy is desperate, not powerful. He's reacting to a future he already knows he can't stop. He's terrified of who you're becoming, of where God is taking you, of what happens when you actually believe you're called, chosen, and covered. And once you realize the skies above your life are not enemy territory, but holy ground, everything shifts. You stop flying scared. You stop second-guessing your calling. You stop letting turbulence define your trust. You lift your head and realize the enemy may have weapons, but God has a war, and your destiny is not in danger. It's in motion. So today, shake off the lies. Tune out the noise. Stop acting like you're flying alone. You are not some lost, broken plane trying to find its way. You are a child of the Most High, flying with favor, guided by grace, protected by power. You have spiritual air superiority because God has already gone ahead of you. His plans for you are not up for cancellation. His promises are not on pause. And even when you feel grounded, your destiny is still in the air. The enemy can't compete. He can try. He can threaten. He can launch every missile in hell. But you're still going higher. Because when God controls the air, nothing the enemy does on the ground can hold you down. So fly bold. Fly loud. Fly free. You're under divine command, and your destiny is already cleared for takeoff. There comes a point in life when you realize you're not just being attacked for no reason. You're being targeted because there's something powerful inside you, something the enemy fears, something even you haven't fully discovered yet. Being a target isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of purpose. But too many people stay stuck in the pain of being targeted, never realizing that what tried to take them out was actually trying to wake them up. Pain isn't the end of your story. It's the turning point. What if every betrayal, heartbreak, rejection, and failure wasn't just a wound, but a weapon being forged in fire? What if every time someone tried to break you, God was using it to build you? You see, pain has a purpose when you decide to flip the script. You go from victim to strategist, from running to rising, from being hit to hitting back with purpose. You become tactical, not just reacting to life, but responding with power, focus, and faith. That's where transformation happens, not in the absence of pain, but in the presence of decision. The decision to not let your past define you. The decision to fight smarter. The decision to see the pain not as punishment, but as preparation. There's something wild that happens when you stop asking, "Why me?" and start declaring, "Watch me. Watch me grow. Watch me heal. Watch me rise." Because pain, when surrendered to God, becomes a training ground for purpose. It teaches you how to move differently, how to love deeper, how to pray harder, and how to stand stronger. Every tear becomes fuel. Every scar becomes strategy. Every no becomes a redirection into something better. You stop walking into rooms needing validation and start walking in knowing your value. You stop avoiding hard things and start facing them with boldness because now you know they can't break you. They can only build you. You become tactical, learning how to fight your battles on your knees, how to protect your peace like it's sacred ground, how to speak life when everything around you screams defeat. You develop discernment, the ability to see beyond the surface, to recognize that not all pain is punishment and not all attacks are setbacks. Some are setups. The enemy doesn't target people who have nothing to carry. He comes after those who carry light, power, calling, and influence. That's why you were hit so hard. That's why you felt like giving up. But you didn't. You're still here. And every day you keep showing up, you're proving that what was meant to crush you is actually creating something unshakable in you. God is turning your pain into precision, your wounds into wisdom. You become dangerous to darkness because now you know who you are and who fights for you. You're not flying blind anymore. You've got tactical faith, a faith that knows how to praise with a limp, how to believe with a broken heart, how to lead while healing, how to serve while still bleeding. And that kind of faith is unstoppable. It doesn't deny pain, it uses it. It doesn't ignore the scars. It honors them as proof of survival, proof that hell lost again. And now you walk different. You think different. You love different. Not because life got easier, but because you got wiser. The very things that tried to ruin you became your greatest revelations. You learned to move with intention. You stopped wasting time on things that drain you. You cut off what doesn't align with your future. You guard your soul like it's royalty, because it is. You learn that peace is a weapon, joy is rebellion, and purpose is payback. You stop living like a target and start living like a threat. Every lesson turns into leverage. Every low becomes a launch pad. Every attack only sharpens your awareness that you were never meant to live ordinary. You were born to turn fire into fuel, pain into power, and pressure into praise. So no, the pain wasn't random. It was necessary. It revealed what was inside you. It exposed what you could overcome. It woke up the warrior in you. And now you're tactical. You know how to move. You know when to speak and when to stay silent, when to push and when to pause. You know how to fight for your future with clarity and conviction. You got a new kind of strength, not loud and showy, but quiet and unshakable. You're no longer just trying to survive. You're here to win. And this time, you're not just reacting to life. You're rewriting it. From target to tactical. Your journey has been hard, but it's also been holy. And the power you've gained to the process? That's the kind of power no one can take away. You can just go through pain. You grew through it. And now you're standing in a new place. Not because the fire didn't come, but because it couldn't consume you. What was once your breaking point has become your building block. You've been tested. You've been tried. And now you're ready. You're no longer a passive participant in your own story. You're the strategist, the fighter, the one who turned every hit into a reason to hit back harder with truth, purpose, and fire. You've got spiritual intelligence now, tactical anointing. You've got heaven's strategies downloaded in your soul. And when you move now, you move different, bold, wise, and ready for whatever comes next.